There's a special kind of pride that you feel deep down inside, a strength that seems to thrive in Lima, Allen County.
The American way of life, to get in gear and do what's right.
An unbreakable forthright link called Real American Strength. Lima, Allen County, Real American Strength.
Keeping you up to date with what's happening in your community. Community Focus on GTV2.
Thanks for joining us today on Community Focus. I'm Ann Decker. Guiding Light Home for Pregnant Girls is just about ready to open. They're only waiting for occupancy permits. And in the studio today to tell us the details is Julianne Frankhouser, who is the director of Guiding Light. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
You've been coming on here for years talking about here's what we're doing, here's what we're working towards, and you're finally reaching the accomplishment of your goals. It's got to feel good.
It feels really good. You know, it's just one step at a time, and when you start to take on such a huge endeavor and an idea and a vision, you just have to stick with it, and no matter how long it takes, you just keep pressing forward. It's been about a 3-year journey or so.
When do you expect to finally open?
I'd like to open by spring, no later. You know, sometimes we just have to get things in order and the paperwork and finalize some things, especially with the city. And so we're working towards that and making sure that everything's intact as far as what we will need at the home.
Who will be eligible to come to the home and stay there?
Pregnant teens who have been in a situation where they find themselves homeless or in a environment where the parent finds it as a hardship and agrees to have the young teen mom come to the home. If they need a stronger support system or if they come from an unhealthy environment of drugs and alcohol, maybe the parents are court-ordered to have something like this happen. And so we're going to put all those pieces together and collect some girls who are going to require our need.
And then what do you do for them?
We will plan a lot of goal setting with them. We'll educate them hands-on to life skills. They'll be cooking, they'll learn housekeeping tips, couponing, budgeting their money, what is it like to reach goals, and short-term, long-term. And so we will be encouraging all of that to help them to be successful in the future.
And then how long can they stay in the home?
They stay right up until the time that they have their baby. So from the time they walk in the door, we will be doing all of that education, but we'll also be finding a transitional place for them to live.
I was going to say, if the girl's 16 and, you know, her parents don't want anything to do with her anymore and you're pushing her out the door basically as soon as she has the kid, then what?
Well, it's all in the process. It's just like, you know, in the hospital. Discharge starts planning everything out on admission, and so that's what we'll be doing. We'll be talking with other maybe foster families, or we'll be talking to other family members that the girl feels comfortable going into, or if they're old enough, to help them find an apartment. And so we need to find another transition, and that is another goal we have for Guiding Light, is to provide some transitional housing for those young ladies who may not have a place to go to once they have their baby.
And the ultimate goal is self-sufficiency?
It is. I think it's important to encourage self-sufficiency because right now in our country, we're not pursuing the American dream. People aren't always working hard. We're finding, as you know, that dependency is encouraged. And I find that self-sufficiency is so important because, you know, you feel good about your successes and it affects your child's future too. And so if they can see that they can make something of themselves despite their circumstance and situation, then they have a better chance of surviving. And I think that if you do need a little boost from government assistance, that you should take that temporarily. But the idea right now is poverty is encouraged, and it shouldn't be that way. And my goal is to go back to what the forefathers brought out when they said, you know, work hard and the American dream, and you will accomplish what you need to accomplish.
Well, that's wonderful to hear, and I think a lot of the girls need to hear that too.
Mm-hmm. Just educating them. I think maybe they have lack of knowledge of the idea, and so if we can just plant some good seeds into them and help them see that anything is possible in that direction, that they may participate.
Do you need volunteers to help you at this point?
I do. I need to keep growing on the group of house mothers that I have. The idea is to have older women who are wise, who are motherly, who can encourage them, who can also, be firm, but also, teach them the idea of what a mother does. And I have a small group right now who are very committed, and it is volunteer-based because we don't have a huge chunk of money to pay anyone right now to get started with. But these ladies are excited to do that, and so I do need to build on that. Bringing in moral and ethical values, bringing back the strong family idea, and keeping it positive all the time.
I'd imagine it takes a commitment of time and emotion, but you are truly making a difference if you volunteer.
Yes. Always, and you feel good about it, of course. And, if they're retired or they're seeking out something to do, there's always a little something that someone can do, even if they come in to help bake something with the young ladies or teach them some gardening tips. We have openings for small times or, keeping a schedule and being a manager of the home.
How about supplies? I mean, it is a home. You need stuff, don't you?
Yes. So as that happens, we will need the basics, the hygiene products, paper towels, toilet papers, all the things that anyone needs in a home. We do have basics right now that have been donated over the years, like cooking supplies. We just had a church donate pots and pans.
Great.
Bath towels have been donated. So there's a lot of things we already have there that we do need, but there's still a lot of the little things that you don't think about that we need, like little waste baskets. We still need some of those things. So there are some things that people can help us collect still.
If people do want to help out, how do they get in touch with you?
And they can email me at the number 1 guidinglight@gmail.com, or they can call me at the number 419-236-7935.
Are you going to do any kind of an open house when you're ready to go?
I am. I already had like an open house to show the completion of the construction work and the beauty of everything that people in the community brought and donated. But I'm going to have a grand opening when we've got everything in place and everything's kosher, at the city and state standards, and let people come in and see it and be a part of that wonderful event.
Where is it located?
It is at 592 South Main Street, 5 blocks south of downtown Lima, which is a great area.
Very convenient.
Very. It's got a bus stop area. It's right across the street from 20th Century Lanes. There's the Family Resource Center, there's Met Housing, and walking distance there's LACA. So there's a lot of centrally located areas or businesses and community resources that the girls can have access to right away.
Okay, Julianne, give us your number one more time.
Okay, it's 419-236-7935.
Okay, we appreciate you coming in today, and good luck with it.
Thank you.
Julianne Frankhouser with Guiding Light. When we come back, we'll tell you how you can get some help if you're a victim of a crime. Right after this on GTV2.
The Allen County Police Chiefs Association wants to keep you from becoming a victim of crime over the holiday season.
Don't carry large amounts of cash and avoid leaving valuables unattended in carts, counters, or dressing rooms. Trust your instincts. If someone looks suspicious, don't leave the store alone. Shop with others or ask store security to escort you.
Only shop online with well-established companies that utilize secure websites. Finally, drive safe and sober and have a wonderful and blessed holiday season.
Help keep the youth of Lima safe by donating to Lima Safety City today. Hello, I'm Chuck Eichelberger from the Lima Noon Optimist Club. Safety City is a very important part of the Lima community. The Optimist Club is renovating Safety City and it needs your help. Donations can be made by going to the website limasafetycity.org. You can also send a donation to Lima Noon Optimist Club, P.O. Box 428, Lima, Ohio 45802. Help keep the youth of Lima safe by donating to Safety City today.
Reduce, recycle, reuse. Allied Waste Services in the City of Lima encourage you to live green by recycling all that you can. Recycling promotes green living by reducing the amount of waste materials buried in landfills. This saves money, natural resources, and energy. Keep our environment healthy and start recycling today. Allied Waste Services is committed to a clean environment. Contact us today for your recycling needs. Visit our website, republicservicesohio.com, to learn more about recycling today.
Did you know that if you have information about someone who's committed a crime or know of someone who is wanted by any law enforcement agency, you can call Crime Stoppers and possibly be eligible for a cash reward of up to $1,000. All callers remain anonymous. Make the call that pays. Call Crime Stoppers at 419-229-STOP.
Crime
Stoppers, Crime Stoppers. Make the call and pay it's Crime Stoppers.
Because you're black, because you have young children, because you have a disability. If you've been denied housing for any reason, the Lima Allen Council on Community Affairs can help. It's against the law to deny people the opportunity to live where they want and can afford. If you feel that you've been treated unfairly, give LACA a call and we'll look into your complaint. LACA's fair housing services are free, so call today and get the housing you deserve. 419-227-2586.
Welcome back to Community Focus. I'm Ann Decker. If you've been a victim of a crime, there is help for you through Crime Victim Services. Here in the studio today is David Voth, and he is going to tell us just exactly what is out there. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Crime Victim Services has 24-hour response for sexual assault to both hospitals. And also, if you have someone who you think is being abused and they have a disability, we also would like to take those calls. Obviously, if it's a crime, we want you to call 911. But if you're really not sure what to do, sometimes people see things that are happening while they're out shopping or at a restaurant that they know someone has a disability and that something's happening to them by a caregiver or something. And we would like to take those calls also, and we will look into those with law enforcement's help. So we also, of course, help people go through the court system. So juvenile crime, misdemeanor, felonies. If something's happened to you, please call us after you call the police. If you're not sure what to do, call us and we'll help you walk through what's going to happen.
What exactly do you do for people?
Well, there's the court advocacy piece and helping them deal with law enforcement. We also have crisis counselors on staff so that we can help talk you through your own emotions, your family. How do you deal with your family over this crime? If the family, you're not sure they will understand or they're not supportive, we can help with that trauma. And also financially, there's money available from the state of Ohio to pay for medical bills up to $50,000. It's not our money. It's not United Way money. We're a United Way member, but it's not United Way money. It's actually criminal costs that are collected.
So when you pay the court costs, this is where some of the money goes.
Yes, and unfortunately speeding tickets too. So we appreciate people's donations through the speeding tickets.
Still, I'm going to watch myself.
But it does go into a fund that we can bring back tens of thousands. We've brought back millions of dollars to Allen County just from people who have applied for that victim's compensation from the state of Ohio. We can help you with that. Also protection orders. We have the preliminary forms, and we can help walk you through what it means to do a protection order, or sometimes people call them restraining orders, but they're actually protection orders, so we can help with those as well.
You know, if you're not a victim of a crime, chances are you're going to go through your whole life without ever seeing the inside of a police station or a courthouse, and if you don't know how it works, it is just terribly confusing.
Yeah, it really is, and it's scary even though it's local. I mean, when you see TV, it gets really scary because they're dealing with the most serious crimes and murders and things like that. But even when it's a smaller crime to you, it's a huge crime to you. I mean, it's only a small crime if it happens to someone else. If it happens to you, it's always a major crime. So a home burglary is enormous. It's huge. It's very traumatic. Besides what you lost, the emotion that you go through. And we would be happy to work with anyone who has been through any kind of crime.
You talked about the 24-hour response for victims of rape. Why is that so important?
Well, if you're a sexual assault survivor, you know that it is really something you just want to get your life back. And at the moment that that sexual assault happens, you may not know what you want to do in terms of law enforcement and prosecution. So we want to help you get the sexual assault kit done with emotional support at the hospitals, even if you haven't decided what to do, because we don't want to lose the evidence in case you want to charge that person later.
Sexual assault kit?
Yeah, there's a rape kit that's done at the hospital's emergency room, and there are trained nurses, sexual assault nurse examiners, who can help do that. So we're trying to make sure that those kits get done even at the moment that the victim may not know what they want to do. But we want to preserve the evidence, and at the point that you call the police, that you are at the hospital, you are not required to identify yourself to law enforcement. So we also cannot tell law enforcement your name or identify you, and neither can the hospital, and that's to allow victims to come in, get the kit done, and then decide later what they want to do.
Well, that really is a low-pressure attempt that
Yes.
I think makes it a lot easier for women.
Yes.
What other services do you offer for the community?
Well, one that we've been doing more recently is our elder abuse outreach. We work with Adult Protective Services, Area Agency on Aging, and other social service providers, particularly law enforcement, to reach out to elderly victims of crime. That is a growing population. And so we are actually looking for volunteers, because what we do is we have volunteers help us, and we go down to the law enforcement departments around Allen County, and we actually go through the reports and look for anyone over the age of 60, and we initiate a call to them to ask about the crime that's happened to them. So even if no one's arrested, we want to reach out to them, because sometimes we can do a lot for them, even if no one's arrested. So we're just doing an outreach program, and some of those cases do end up in court, and we do end up being able to help them. So that's something that we would love for volunteers to call our phone number, which is the 419-222-8666 number that's been there for 31 years now, same phone number, to call if they would like to volunteer on a low-key basis. I mean, you have to go through our training, 20-hour training, but then you can come in kind of on your own schedule and help us work with elder victims.
A few weeks ago I had the folks from the Lima Police Department in here, and they were talking about human trafficking, especially in terms of the younger girls who are being kidnapped. Do you work with them at all?
Since January of last year, so this is just 2 years, we have had 10 human trafficking victims touch Crime Victim Services.
Right here?
Yeah, they're not all from Lima in Allen County, because a few of them heard about us and called us, which then we got involved with, but most of them were from Allen County. We had one from Putnam County, and almost all of them are white females, but we've had 2 international people involved with that, and 2 of them were labor trafficking, and the rest 8 were sexual trafficking. So we did not expect to have more than maybe one a year, and maybe there would be foreigners.
Well, yeah, it sounds so bizarre to be happening in Lima.
Yeah, it does happen locally, and the primary people that are the most likely victims tend to be, at least from our limited experience, between the ages of 14 and, say, 24, mid-20s, and they either were runaways or they got hooked up with someone on the internet. And we've had a couple cases where actually the families were involved. So it's a very serious issue, and obviously traumatized for a long time. We have a counselor on staff who does work with human trafficking victims, and 3 of our cases right now are in federal court in Toledo being prosecuted.
That's some pretty serious stuff.
Yes.
If people do want more information about what you do, if they have questions, if they've been a victim and just need some help, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, the easiest way is a phone number, the 419-222-8666. We also have a website, which is just our name, crimevictimservices.org, crimevictimservices.org. We have a lot of information on the website as well.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you coming in today. You're doing good work.
Thank you.
You're welcome. David Voth from Crime Victim Services. I'm Ann Decker, and this is Community Focus on GTV2.